Good morning, everyone. We'll continue here in TZIPISA the Yeshua, yearning for redemption, the words of the Horowitz. Today we begin Perek Beis, the second chapter. And he says like this, anyone who does not believe at all in the coming of Mashiach, it's known to all that the sin is too great to bear. Because that person is lacking one of the principles from the 13 principles of faith. The Rambam codifies 13 principles of faith. One of them is to believe in the coming of Mashiach. So too someone who does not wait for Mashiach coming, because he despairs about the coming of Mashiach, for whatever the reason might be, he is the companion. He's the friend of the first person. The first person doesn't believe in Mashiach at all, and the second one doesn't wait for his coming. So both of them have some despondency and disbelief in the arrival of Mashiach. Such a person is considered like a koifer b'Torah, someone who denies the entirety of the Torah. Because the Rambam himself, in the laws of Malachim, of kings, he explains like this: in the future, destined to arise is the Melech HaMashiach, the Messianic king. He'll restore the kingdom of Dovid HaMelech to its former state. To the initial dominance and power and might that it had. The Mashiach will build the Beis HaMikdash. He'll gather in all of the scattered Jews from around the world. He will restore all of the laws of the Torah in his days, like it was previously. He'll bring korbanos, sacrifices, va'is and shmitin, v'yoivlos. He will affix the Shemitah year. Every seventh year in the land of Eretz Yisrael, you let the land lay fallow, and the yoivlos, after the end of every 7 Shemitah cycles, there's a special Jubilee year. Kechol mitzvasa ha'amura b'Torah, in accordance with all of the commandments, the mitzvahs that are said in the Torah. Everything will be reinstated, everything will be kept. But anyone who doesn't believe in the coming in Mashiach, he's not really waiting for Mashiach to come. That means to say, he despairs, for whatever reason it might be, in the coming of Mashiach. Not only does he reject and show that he denies the other prophets who spoke about the coming of Mashiach, he actually denies the Torah and Moshe Rabbeinu's nevuah, his prophecy itself. Why? Because the Torah testifies about the coming of Mashiach. Shneimar, it says in Devarim, towards the end of the Chumash, V'shav Hashem Elokecha shvuscha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to return your captives. V'richamecha, and he's going to have mercy on you. V'shav v'kibetzcha, he will return and he will gather you. If you're dispersed ones, the Jewish people will be at the ends of the heavens. Misham yikabetzcha, from there he's going to gather you in. V'viachas Hashem Elokecha, Hashem is going to bring you El Haaretz, to the land, to Eretz Yisrael. Ad kan l'shonah, that's the language of the pasuk of the verse. So what do you see? Says the Horowitz, what is the Torah talking about over there? It's talking about Mashiach coming and gathering in all the exiles and bringing us back to Eretz Yisrael. You don't believe in the coming of Mashiach? You're not waiting for Mashiach? You despair that he's going to come? That means that you're denying not only all the other prophets who prophesied about the BS HaMashiach, the coming of Mashiach, even Moshe Rabbeinu. He brings in the notes over here something that's frightening, and that is that Rav Chatzkel Levenstein, who was known in his generation as probably the greatest maimin, the greatest believer in the Rebbeinu Shalom, he says that many of the tefillos, many of the prayers that we say in Shmoneh Esrei are focused on the redemption. We speak about the Geula, the redemption, Kibbutz Goli is gathering in all the exiles, as Tzemach is the restoring of Yerushalayim, V'sechazena, we should see the Beis HaMikdash and see the Karbanos and the like. So much revolves around the coming of Mashiach. And therefore he says, if a person is deficient in their belief in the ultimate redemption, and their belief that Mashiach is going to come, and their TZIPISA, the Yeshua, the waiting and the yearning for Mashiach, if you're lacking in that area, or you have given up on those parts of our faith, then your entire tefillah, your entire Shemona Esrei is deficient as well. Because how could you say words of Yerushalayim Ircha? How could you say words about Yerushalayim being rebuilt if you don't really believe in Mashiach? How could you say words that Hashem is going to be Mekabetz, He's going to gather in all of the exiles and take us away from the Golus, from the exile that we're in, if you don't believe that Mashiach is around the corner? How can you say V'sechazeno, that my eyes should see, Sechazeno Einenu, my eyes should see the Beis HaMikdash restored, Kohanim doing their avodah, Karbanos being brought? If you've given up hope and you despair that Mashiach will ever come, and therefore behooves a person not only in their belief and their steadfastness that Mashiach is going to be here, but every single day of one's life, when they daven Shachris, Mincha, and Mariv, they are saying words that if you believe in Mashiach, you mean what you say. If you don't believe in Mashiach and the coming of Mashiach, you are saying words that as you're saying them, you're denying that they're going to come true, and that's a deficiency in our tefillos. So maybe perhaps through our tefillah itself, by uttering and by saying these words, we could be mechazik ourselves in our belief that Mashiach is coming, and we are waiting anticipatingly and anxiously for his speedy arrival. Have a wonderful day.